What is up, my beautiful people? Hope you're all having a fantastic day. Happy Friday, everyone. Exile451 here with you again for another daily dose of Reddit Happy. Going back to r/self-improvement today for some stories I'm sure you're gonna love and may make you want to improve your own life too. So sit back, relax, and enjoy the video. Things change faster and better than you can imagine. Last year, I was completely alone, with no friends in my college, with my true friends far from me, depressed and studying things I hated, headed for a horrible future life. The fate that had come over me was seemingly unchangeable. It doesn't sound like much. It isn't much. Everybody has problems, and some people have even bigger problems than you. Man, I am lucky to even have had friends at some point in my life. But it doesn't matter how irrelevant your problems may seem. If you have a problem big enough for you, your capability for hope and vision of the future shrinks. Last year, I could not imagine myself getting to July alive because everything was so terrible in my mind that the possibility of surviving longer than a week was laughable. But I survived more than 1 week. I survived more than one lost in an unexisting island kind of lonely day. And thanks to my family, I survived more than one darkest hour. But I got some things done in order to change the situation. Not because it was going to make any difference, my odds were stacked. I did things to improve my situation, just to not have those thoughts of regret that so many of us have had. And for reasons that involved sacrifice, hard work, long hours of little sleep, and too much thinking, I got to change my destiny. It was not easy. But looking back, it was way simpler than I had made myself think. Negativity and stuff, I guess. Now, in 1 month, I will be studying the career of my dreams in a new place, with a new chance of starting again from solid ground. Today, I went to the park and read a book. And if someone told me last year this moment would come, the moment I would have my life in order, changed the direction of things, and be happy and hopeful of the future, if someone had told me there would have been a day like this, I would have laughed my guts over them. Because back then, a day like this seemed so unattainable. But it came. Now, I am not completely fine, of course. New challenges will come ahead, and I am sure that my worst days are still to come. Let's be realistic. But I learned something this year. When those times come, I will be thinking that I will never get out of them. I will be thinking that whatever troubles me will last forever. I am sure I will be thinking like that, like many of you have. But now I know something. Those thoughts will be false. Because I know that no matter how bad things may look, there is always a way of changing them. A possible, realistic, non-cinematic way of solving problems that will come ahead. Many of you are in troubles and stuff and have problems, and you may be thinking that the despair, sadness, or struggle will last forever. Believe me, it won't. It will end, for such is the nature of things, to change. Not being preachy, smile, be positive here. You still have to break some eggs to make an omelet. But you can make that omelet. You know what, OP? You're exactly right. These thoughts, these negative emotions, as powerful as they can be, are just that. Thoughts, perceptions, things that aren't necessarily true, thoughts that are false about who you are and what your value is. Obviously, it's not as easy as just snapping your fingers to come to a realization that, oh my gosh, I'm actually worth something. You have to work at it like you did. But like you said, you can make that omelet. You can do the hard things that are in front of you. I'm so glad you had this kind of introspection and felt the need to share that with everyone. This is a great post about just knowing who you are and what it takes to move forward. Thank you so much for sharing this. And I really hope that with this new mentality, you find that those worst days you believe are ahead of you are a lot easier to endure. When you feel pain or grief, don't forget to feel it. You have to feel it to get through it. I think this is a good place to put this. I broke up with my ex about 8 months ago. We were together for 6 months. The reason of why we broke up doesn't really matter, and it's a long story to explain, but I broke up with her because I realized I didn't and would have never loved her. I decided it was the right thing to do, not only for me, but her. Shortly after, she found someone new. My insecurity was at an all-time high. I blamed myself. I said, it's my fault. I must have been a piece of crap since she moved on this fast. How did this happen? What is wrong with me? Etc. Through a lot of self-work and self-improvement, I dug deep through my insecurities. I improved a lot on self-love, self-esteem, and self-worth. I still have a lot of work to do, but I still felt pain. Deep pain I couldn't shake. I tried every mentality, concept, and mindset you can think of. The abundance mentality, loving myself, telling myself I did the right thing. The minute I thought one of these worked, I was still sucked right back into that pain. I grew frustrated and kept trying to dig deeper and deeper, telling myself, if I know I made the right choice, why do I still feel pain? I just want it to stop. I had all the answers. And eventually, I realized I had to put the shovel down. I've been trying to fight this pain for a long time now, with everything I had. I can't run from it, I can't replace it, I can't fill it. As much as I freaking hate it, I have to feel it. Feel all of it. I still miss her all the time. I still shake when I see her and feel like I can't breathe when I do. It still hurts all the time. But I finally know the only way out of this is to go through it. Just because you have to leave someone doesn't mean all your feelings go away. We, as humans, don't work like that. As much as I wish we could, we don't. I don't know how long this is going to last. There's no time limit to grief, unfortunately. But I'll try every day to improve my life as much as I can, and maybe one day this pain will stop. I hope it does. Good luck, guys. I hope you can benefit from this and realize that sometimes you just have to put the shovel down. Man, OP, this is a post that I can relate with entirely. I'm not going to go into details, but similar situation, except where she left me for very shallow reasons, and that's all I'm going to say on it. But I know that pain that you're going through. I've felt that. I've been there, and it sucks, but I promise you, you will get better, just one day at a time. And I think you're on the right track with this. This is one of those demons that you can't fight, you can't outrun. You just have to embrace, and eventually it will go away. Did you do the right thing? Being on the outside, I can't tell you one way or another. But are you doing the right thing now in how you're approaching getting over it? Absolutely. You know, I wish you the best. As painful as it was, I'm grateful that you shared this story and that you've had this insight of just how important it is to feel that pain rather than run from it. Thank you so much for sharing. Leisure is not a lifestyle. My best friend and I have always been complete opposites of each other. I'm quiet, introverted, and, if given the opportunity, will not leave the house unless I absolutely have to. He, on the other hand, is the best example of an extrovert I can give. He will never shut up, is outgoing and adventurous, and loves going to concerts/music festivals. On paper, we seem like polar opposites, except when it comes to one thing: video games. We both game and have been doing so since childhood. But I've always seen gaming as more than just a hobby, while to him, it's just that, a hobby. I've finally noticed over the years that he'll game for a while, and then go do something else, usually an outdoor activity. After I've completed my gaming sessions, I always either go watch anime, watch a movie, or simply take a break only to go right back. I used to write it off as, oh, He's an extrovert and I'm an introvert, so of course he gets bored faster. Well, I'm making this post to remind myself and maybe help someone else that I don't really enjoy this lifestyle anymore. And that's not a surprise. Leisurely activities aren't meant to be visited so frequently, and while I have no idea what new avenues I have to discover in order to change my life, I know that I want to. I see this as the first step in changing my life and will likely be back with another post for the next. Thank you for reading. Well, OP, thank you for posting. To start off, you've basically just summed up the entire relationship I have with my best friend. I'm the extrovert, he's the introvert. In high school, I was the athlete and the drama geek and everything else. He was the one in computer club and playing Magic the Gathering during lunch. Not that there's anything wrong with that. So, on paper, complete opposites, but we're basically inseparable when we're together, and we've known each other well over half our lives at this point. So it's just a funny coincidence there. But it's a good thing that you're realizing that maybe you are taking the gaming thing too far. Maybe it has become something of, not necessarily an obsession, but something that dominates way too much time in your life. I remember several years ago, I spent way too much time gaming, and eventually I realized this too, dialed it back, and was like, you know what? I want to get in shape. And so, because we had a gym at college, I got in shape. I am sadly no longer in that shape, but my point remains just as valid. That same time that you spend playing these games and everything else can be spent on something more productive. Not to say you shouldn't play them at all, as they are enjoyable, but there are better things to do with your time. And it's great that you're finally realizing that. So thank you so much for sharing your story. Please do update with the other steps that you're taking to improve your life. I'd love to hear what's working for you. Thank you all so much for tuning in today. I really appreciate all the support, the likes, the comments, everything that you guys have done to support the channel the way that you have been. Be sure to hit that like and subscribe button if you enjoyed the video. Now you go out, have an awesome weekend. I will see you all on Monday. Until then, I'm Exile451. Stay beautiful, people.